Welcome children to the next session of the French Revolution. In the previous session, we discussed about the agitation that took place in France and how Louis XVI had to surrender to that agitation and France becomes a constitutional monarchy. In this session, we will discuss more on the topic France becomes a constitutional monarchy. Now, before we start more about this topic, let us first know what does constitutional monarchy means. Constitutional monarchy means the king will be there, the monarch will be there, but he had to rule in accordance with the constitution. Like present day Britain, we can take the example of Britain. Britain is a constitutional monarchy. The king is there, the queen is there, but there is also a constitution and the state is run in according to the constitution of Britain. So now hope it is clear that what is constitutional monarchy. Let's start the discussion. Now the Constitution of France, the drafting of the Constitution of France completed by 1791. And the main aim of the Constitution of France was to limit the power of the monarch. And now the power was, instead of being concentrated in the hands of single authority, it was separated into different organs. What was the power was divided into three organs of the government. That is the legislature, the executive and the judiciary. Children, if you remember in the previous session when we were discussing about the role of the philosophers, one of the philosophers who have inspired the middle class, who have inspired the educated middle class, have talked about the separation of power among different organs rather than being concentrated in the hands of a single person. And who was he? He was Montesquieu. So when France became constitutional monarchy, according to the constitution, the power of the France was divided into three organs of the government: legislature, executive and judiciary. Now, the power to make laws was vested in the hands of National Assembly. This National Assembly means the power to make law the laws was made by the National Assembly. Now this National Assembly, the members of the National Assembly were elected through indirect election. Now what is indirect election? Children, let me explain you through an example. Like you know about election. Election happens in our country also. We have election for Lok Sabha. We have election for Vidhan Sabha. Now, how election took place in our country? We elect the members of the Lok Sabha. Directly we vote for the members and they are elected for the Lok Sabha. We vote for the members of the Vidhan Sabha. So what is it? It is direct election. We directly vote to elect the representatives of Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha. Now what is indirect election? We are talking about indirect election. We have Rajya Sabha, we have the President of India also. Now, do the people of India, the citizens of India, we directly vote for the President of India? Do we directly vote for the members of the Rajya Sabha? No. Who elects now? The question arises, who elects the members of Rajya Sabha? Who elects the President of India? It is the members of the Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha. That means this is an indirect process. We elect the members of Lok Sabha and they elect the President of India. We elect the members of Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha. They elect the members of Rajya Sabha. So this is indirect election. Now same indirect process was adopted in France. There was a group of people were elected by the citizens of France and those group of people elected the members of the National Assembly. So the members of the National Assembly were elected through an indirect election process. Now, the citizens of all the citizens of France did not get the right to vote. It was not that all the members of all the citizens of France were electing a group of people and they were electing the members of National Assembly. The citizens who paid the tax equivalent to 3 days labor have the right to vote. And they were known as active citizens. Now children, who were active citizens? All men. In France, women did not get the right to vote. All men above 25 years of age who paid tax equivalent to 3 days labor were known as active citizens. And only they have the right to elect the members of the National Assembly. And the rest of them, rest of the citizens and the women they belong to the passive citizens group. So now in France, two types of citizens were there: active citizens and passive citizens. Active citizens who have the right to vote and passive citizen who does not have the right to vote. Means in France there was no universal adult franchise. Like in our country, all the citizens of India have the right to vote. Whether you are paying tax or not, all the citizens have the right to choose their representative for the legislature. But in France, what happened? What was the reason behind this? Because the National Assembly was dominated by the richest section of the society. The National Assembly was dominated by the prosperous section of the third estate. So, all the people did not get the right to vote in France. So, it is clear? Now, next topic under this that we are going to discuss is features of Constitution. The Constitution of France begins with a Declaration of Rights. It gives some rights to the citizens of France. Now, what were those rights? It gives right to life. That means every person, every citizen have the right to live. Next was freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. Now the citizens of France can enjoy freedom of speech. They have the right to speak. Because what was it? Before, in the monarchical era, the citizens of France does not have the freedom of speech. They could not speak against the monarch. And then next is freedom of opinion. That means that the citizens can express their opinion to the state. And the last one was equality before law. If you remember, how was the French society? The French society, there was no equality in the French society. The people were divided on the basis of birth. And so the Constitution of France that was drafted in 1791 that brought equality among the people and all were equal before the law. These all rights were considered as natural rights. Why it is considered as natural right? Because people are born free and no one can take away this freedom. Like we have the Constitution of India has provided us some fundamental rights. The citizens of India enjoy some fundamental rights, and these rights are also considered as natural rights. And the state has the responsibility to take care of this natural rights and maintain the law in the state. Okay, thank you.